early November 2012. Cindy's day to hunt. I'm behind the camera, and she's set up on a little small linear food plot in a fifth row clearing in some mature pines. We had the decoy out. She had grunted a little bit and rattled, so we were just sitting there looking and waiting. It wasn't long. I saw movement in the trees, bumped her and told her, "Here comes a deer." Well, I got the camera on him and got binoculars and looked too, and it was this little guy right here. Little 2.5-year-old 7-pointer. He stood back and he watched for a while and he watched. Finally, he laid his ears back, cocked all sideways like they do, and just came stiff-legging in. He was putting on a show. I'm filming it and it was awesome. He gets a few feet from the decoy, he slams it. Head flies off, it falls over. It was hilarious. He bounced back like, "I've killed this deer." Cindy and I sat there and laughed at him for probably 15 minutes after he did it. It was one of the funniest things we've ever seen while we were hunting in the woods. Well, until I had to get down and set the decoy back up. But anyway, that was the first time we had ever seen this little guy right here, who would later be named Cheesy. But it definitely wasn't the last time we saw him that year. He was a really aggressive little guy. We've got 1,250 acres that we lease for our bow club. And it didn't matter. We could be in the 4 far corners on 4 different days. If you grunted or rattled, within 5 minutes, he was going to be there. We must have seen him 6 or 8 times that year easily. Every time we hunted and rattled or called, grunted, he was going to be there. So I thought, well, he's a pretty aggressive little deer. Maybe he'll hang around. Well, 2013 rolled around. We were out getting summer footage, trying to get some velvet footage, and one of the first bucks Cindy sees and gets footage of is Cheesy. He's made a really good jump from his 2.5-year-old year. He had about a 4-inch brow tine, and she got some pretty good footage of him. We had trail camera footage of him all year, trail camera pictures. We actually saw him following a doe early November, not far from where he had attacked the decoy the year before. So we thought, wow, the jump he made, he's definitely on our radar. 2014 rolls around, he's 4.5. He has turned into a really nice looking buck at 4.5. We had trail camera pictures of him all year long. Had some velvet footage of him that summer. And I actually put him at the top of my hit list that year. Cindy shocked me and she said, "I think I'll pass him if I see him. I'd like to see how big he would be at 5.5. I thought, well, that's easy to say, but she had just killed a mid-140s buck in 2012, so she was still riding high. But I really didn't think she would pass him if she had the chance. Well, early November again. We're back in the same general area where we saw him the 2 previous years. And sure enough, here he comes chasing a doe through. He's just dogging a doe. They come through so fast, I can't even get the camera on them. She grunted at him a few times. I was hoping they'd come back. So we're turned around backwards in the stand, watching the way they went. And we're just up in a single pine tree, no cover. And about 15 minutes later, I heard a stick crack behind me. Turned around and looked. There was Cheesy, standing there, 22 yards. Just slowly easing through the pines. I thought, wow. So I bump her. I hit record. I get the camera on him. I got him framed. And I thought, all right, this is going to be a perfect shot on camera. There's not a lot of thick stuff between us. I've got him framed well. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Finally, I look up from the camera. She's got her bow hanging on the hook. She's watching him with the binoculars. He eases on off. And I said, I can't believe you didn't shoot that buck. I said, that's probably close to a 140-inch deer. We are in Georgia. We're not in Iowa with Bill and the guys. We're in Georgia. You're holding a bow. She said, yeah, I know, but I just didn't feel it. I want to see how big he'll be next year. I said, well, anybody on our club other than you will kill him, and any of our neighbors around us, if they see him, they'll kill him. So I said, you know, certainly your choice. Proud of you for letting him walk, but I think I would have had to shot him. Well, we move on to 2015. 2015, we've got pictures of him every day in one clover plot for probably 2 months before season opens. He's there every afternoon, every day. He was there the Friday afternoon before season opened on Saturday. Poof. We hunt the entire first week. Our goal is to kill this 5.5-year-old buck that she let walk last year. We hunt the entire week. We see a ton of bucks. Had a encounter with another buck that I would have shot, but couldn't get a shot at him early that week. But poof, he was gone. I got the muddies out, and I've got cameras scattered all over trying to get him. We don't see him for months. Finally, I get a couple of pictures of him, probably 3/4 of a mile from where the clover plot where we've been seeing him all year. But they were just really sporadic pictures. Well, we hunted him a few times when the wind was right. I never laid eyes on him. One day we were hunting him, Cindy was running camera. She could see an area that I couldn't see, and she saw him chase a doe across the county road. The county road wasn't far from where we were hunting, but I never laid eyes on him. Well, New Year's Day morning, I just wanted to go hunt that morning. Cindy was out of town. I had nobody to run camera. I said, you know what? I'm just going to go sit, see what I see. It was a beautiful morning, nice cold morning. About 8 o'clock, I look up through the pines. Here he comes. He basically walks right to me. Stops at about 18 or 20 yards, turns, gives me about a 25-yard quartering away shot. I kill him. I was so excited that I had just killed a 5.5-year-old buck, the best buck I'd ever killed, especially here in Georgia with a bow. But I was really let down that I didn't have it on video. I hunted one hunt in the 2015 season without a camera, and that was the hunt that I killed him. And it was so disappointing to me to have so much history with a buck like that and kill him and not be able to, you know, get it on video and be able to share it with everybody. So that's when I found this shed this year. That's when I thought, you know, I really need to sit down and get some good hard measurements of them so we will know exactly the jumps he made and kind of judge some of the other deer, and I can tell Cheesy's story too.